I'm Henry Pan, and today we'll be pan-searing a steak. So, we're pan-searing an inch-thick New York strip steak, and it's got a lot of marbling on it. So the first thing you want to do is turn it on, which we already have it on there. And next thing you want to do is to trim off all the fat, excess fat, because we do not need that. So we gotta get all that off. And once your pan's all heated up, then you want to place some butter on there. And then we have to start seasoning. So we lightly season with garlic powder. You just do it very lightly. You want to season it both sides very evenly. And next seasoning we're going to be using is garlic pepper. And make sure you use the excess seasoning on the sides to get all the, dip all the sides in there and get it all over. Alright, now once you're all done with that, then you wanna place it on, and you wanna grab the this little weight thing, and you want this weight thing on to that way you can get a nice crust on there, and it'll be very flavorful. And we'll just add these pieces of fat on there too to get a little more grease for the crust. And you really want to season these steaks thoroughly because like if you could take like one bite and like the next bite will taste like different. So yeah. So once you have it on here, then you just want to wait a little bit, and it'll take a little bit of it with this thick of a steak. Alright, now that you've gotten the first side done, then you want to flip it, and then you can see that nice golden crust, brown crust there. And what you want to do next is you want to pour a little bit of rosemary, garlic rosemary, and just pour it on there just a little bit, and then you want to put the rest of your butter on, and then you want to grab a spoon, and then you want to grab the grease of butter and then just start splashing it on there. And you just want to drench this thing with butter. And I'm going to put it behind there. And you don't want to be basting for too long or else the pan will cool down. But yeah, you just want to keep doing this. That way get a nice good flavor. Alright, now we'll let that sit a little longer, and then we'll place the weight back on top. And one thing I need to show you is we have a thermometer, and we're going for medium rare, so you want to get a temperature in like around the 120 zone. So we're just gonna stick this in here, and yeah, so we're not even close yet. Alright, so now once we gotten our first side, second side basted, and so now we're gonna flip it again, and some advice I'm gonna give you is you want to flip it as much as possible. That way you can get a nice even crust on both sides. And every once in a while you want to keep sticking this thing in here. That way you can see how close you're getting, and you can see whether to turn the heat down or up, and then you have to be checking each crust and just try flipping it just as much as you can. That way you can get a nice good crust. Alright, so now you have both sides crusted pretty well. You want to get it on its side a little. That way, since it's a very thick steak, you want to do this. That way it can get there's still a little extra fat here that you can break off just to get a little more grease on there. And then you want to leave that sit for like about, we'll say, 30 seconds. And yeah, you just want to do that for each side, and you can see how pink it is right here. And then, yeah, and then it's got a little bit of a crust there too, and you want to flip it that way, but you don't want to do this for too long because it's not cooking as quickly as on its side like that, so yeah, you don't want to be doing this for too long. So once that time's up, then we're just going to go right back to basting. And if you want to get it all over like that. And you don't want your pan to be too hot for when you're basting, because the butter will burn and it'll taste all bitter, and you don't want that. And you also don't want your pan to be too cooled down, because the butter will just be all liquidy, and it'll like wash all the seasoning out of your steak. And so yeah, so you want to have like medium high heat. So. Alright, I got some paper towels here because this thing's getting very greasy and it's starting to burn, so we're just gonna do this and get it all out, get a little bit of it out, that way we don't have too much fun. And then we're just gonna close here. We just gotta give her, yeah, and you can tell it's not sizzling as much. And we're just gonna stick this in one more time, and yeah, yep, and it's ready. And you want to turn your stove off and move your cast iron skillet away from the thing. And we're gonna want to let this cool down for a minute, and then we're gonna use this knife and we're gonna cut into it. So, all right, now that we've let it rest for a minute, then yeah, you can just listen to that crust there. So now you want to cut into it, and yeah, once we let it rest, and it should look pretty good. And then that's a nice piece there. Yeah, you just want to cut it into nice good strips, and then lay it out, and it'll be all fancy, and looks like someone will want it served to them. All right. Yeah, so this is what it looks like cut. So no, yeah, so that's how you pan sear steak.